One of the great things about the British Hill Climb Championship is the appearance on the scene of some young hot shoes, some younger than others. But Alex Summers is currently lying second in the listings, I think, Alex, unless you've taken the lead. And Matthew Ryder's come along, first season in a very, very quick car, and topped the times in 2 Hill Climb Championship meetings. So it's a great development of the hill climbing being attractive to young drivers, because it's always been seen as a sort of rather middle-aged sport. But you're not middle-aged yet, are you?
No. Hopefully not quite yet. Anyway, it's been a really good year so far. It's been nice to have a go in the big car and start getting a little bit close to some of these guys who've been doing it a few years longer than me. So so far so good.
Has it taken a while to get used to the power and the power to weight ratio, particularly of the Gould?
Not particularly. Obviously, having had a go in some of the slightly smaller cars for a few years beforehand, I think it is a step up. And I think the first time I got in the car, I thought, my God, how's my neck going to manage all this every weekend? It is surprising, but I think you adapt to it quite quickly. And after a few weekends, it feels like that's the norm. Really, you get into a bit of a groove with it.
Normally you think, my God, this thing's powerful, and then after a few weeks you say, I need more power.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, you never say no to a bit more power, a bit less weight, do you? But
that's what Alex is saying. Need more power.
It would be nice. No, I mean, we've obviously enjoyed watching Matt this year. It's been brilliant, and as you say, it's nice to see fresh talent coming through. Obviously, we've got Warby, you, me. We're Club 1831 at the moment. Jack's come along in the Dallara as well. So I've said it before, I think it's a really healthy period that we have in the sport. It's great to have a 6-time champion, like the greatest of all time statistically, and some new guys, and everyone's having a good old ding dong every weekend. So no, it's been brilliant for Matt. I was upset with myself at Shelsley, but weirdly and in a nice way, it was offset by the fact that it's nice to see someone else get that at that time and have a good old pop at the record as well.
So how many points between you and Wallace at the moment?
I'll simplify it. On drop scores, if you go by Hill Climb UK's coverage, there's 2 points in it. So I trail Wallace by 2 points. All I have to do is beat him. I say all that I have to do. I mean, it's not that easy, is it? But if I beat him in every runoff, I win a championship. If he beats me in every runoff, he wins a championship. If it ended today, it would go his way. So we had.
So no pressure then.
Yeah, I mean there is a lot of pressure. I won't lie. I mean it's been intense. This is the 3rd year I've been playing a supporting role to Wallace, and it is hard. It's certainly from an emotional point of view, you think, oh God, what have I got to do? But we've got a very quick car. We've got a lot of records and a lot of wins this year. It's the consistency that Wallace has that's so punishing. He just doesn't miss. And from our point of view, and for the guys who are less experienced, I mean, I hardly claim to be unexperienced, but it is hard to be that consistent, to be disciplined, and let's do the same thing. Let's look at the data. Let's look at that's where Wallace has the edge at the moment, and it shows. So fair play.
Matthew, you've got a Judd 4-litre engine pushing you along, and Alex, you've got only 2.65. So it strikes me, I might be completely wrong, that the Judd is much easier to get off the line.
I'm not sure about getting off the line. I think it's probably maybe a little bit more punch when it gets going, perhaps. I think if you look at the start times, I think Wallace and Alex are certainly quicker off the line every time than us at the moment. There's something in the launch control systems maybe, or maybe my right foot, I'm not sure. But I don't think we're quite there on the starts actually just yet.
But Alex, for you, is it a very fine line between too much wheel spin and stalling the engine?
No, paradoxically it's not. This has got a very, very short first gear, this car. So in terms of rear wheel torque off the start line, we're probably a lot more than the Gould. So this has got a 58 mile an hour first gear, and yours is probably 80 something.
Yeah.
So you're snatching second after 2 seconds.
I mean, that is the comment that people make. It sounds like the rev limiter going up the straight, bah, 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 like that. And I just throw gears at it. But we've got a smaller engine, but we've got a heavier gearbox, but it does have drop gears and it's got various different things. So we can be very precise with the start. So I don't really have too many issues, he said, with that. I think what Matt's going through, and we were talking about it just before you came over, was it's time with the systems, times in the car that he lacks this year is finessing those things. And it's usually a calibration in the car that, a bit more revs, or, you maybe throw a lower gear at it at some point when you can and try these things. So no, this one's fine. I mean, I think this probably actually makes more power than the Judd. but for
narrow rev brand.
yeah, it makes peak power between 13 and 15,000 RPM.
Whereas the judge pulls from what, 7 or 8?
Lower down, yeah, probably half that.
People who haven't seen modern hill climbing don't realise how quick these cars are. So in terms of, let's say, 0 to 100 miles an hour, 2.5 seconds?
Not quite. 0 to 60, we've seen sub 2 in Guernsey when it was really hot. It's 1.7 something. So yeah, it's really quick. And then hundreds usually between 3 and 3.5. I mean, here we'll be doing about 118 under the bridge, and that's on the limiter in fourth in this.
That's after 5-6 seconds or so.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, it's very much dependent because we have cold starts. You know, with tyres, yeah, we get to scrub them, but it doesn't really do a lot. We have if you had a hot tyre, we would be even quicker. But then you get to sort of breaking drive shafts and stuff. So, you know.
We're threatened with rain tomorrow. Does that level the field in terms of engine power?
Yeah, I think so. I think when we were in the smaller classes, we would have prayed for rain. Maybe a little bit less so now. You lose some of that advantage. But I love driving in the wet. I think it's great fun. I think it's always mixes things up a little bit. You get to try something different, and it makes it a little bit less of the same people always at the top. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it, really.
Well, we're not.
well, maybe not. Maybe not so good for spectators, but a good spectacle to watch, probably even more so.
Well, guys, have a great weekend. It's been a brilliant season. This isn't the last round, is it?
No.
Where do you go from here?
We have Loughton Park at the end of September, which is always traditionally the finale, and there's a bit of a hog roast and we take a picture of the top 10 drivers and stuff. So yeah, it's a bit of a holiday party atmosphere. I think this year, hopefully, the championship will go down to the wire at Loughton. I think it'll be great for us. If it finishes this weekend, it's likely then Wallace has won it, but that has benefits as well. It means we can enjoy it without them.
Well, we're certainly getting much bigger audiences than we've ever had before, and I think live streaming has had an effect on that. Have a great weekend. Let battle be joined.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Cheers.